is what we learned in the modeling business is if you don't like it, that's your problem. That's not mine. So I'm not here to please other people. I'm here to encourage. I'm here to teach. I'm here to inspire. And if I don't do that, I'll move on to someone else.
We've gotten many questions about people taking the natural path to sustaining beauty. And I think that you're going to be pleasantly surprised today. We all know that the beauty industry is an obscure field where perfection is often perceived as the ultimate goal. What if one of the beauty industry's brightest stars decides that they're going to embrace the natural process of aging in a world where eternal youth really reigns supreme, or so to seem? What a better way to explore this type of scene than inviting a true inspiration in the modeling industry. And joining us today is none other than the legendary Kim Alexis.
Welcome. We are absolutely honored.
What's even more inspiring is Kim's decision to embrace the natural process of aging in this sort of industry. And I want you to anticipate a very unique conversation between, obviously, two plastic surgeons passionate about aesthetic enhancements, engaging with a guest who's an advocate for the more natural path. And although we are plastic surgeons, our motto has always been to support aging however you choose to do it. And that's why we came up with the skincare line Beverly Hills MD for those individuals who want to look better without undergoing the knife. So whether you're a devotee of the scalpel or an advocate for letting nature take its course, join us as we navigate the journey of beauty, aging, and personal empowerment with Kim Alexis. Kim, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, I don't know what I'm getting into, but we'll decide.
No, listen, it's going to be
battle here of natural versus whatever you guys call yourself.
Not at all.
If everyone could age as gracefully as you, we'd be out of business. Let's keep it that way, okay?
Yes. So thank you so much for joining us today. And we're excited to see where this conversation takes us, because you've been a prominent figure in the modeling industry since the 1980s. And that was a time where youth and perfection were often, considered paramount, right?
And the difference was you didn't use filters. It actually looked like you.
It was actually you. And so can you share with us what initially drew you to the world of modeling?
I wanted to be a pharmacist. So I had to be talked into it. And I think the only reason I even decided to try was my parents had raised me to just try anything and don't have regrets. And so was almost, I had a promise guaranteed money for a year from a top agent in New York. He really pursued me. And I kept saying, no, I want to be a pharmacist. I was enrolled in pharmacy at University of Rhode Island. I was already on their swim team. I grew up a tomboy. I had no interest in the beauty field. I'd never really read a magazine before. I'd never plucked my eyebrows. I had no idea. A fashion for me was whatever my mom loved clothes. And so she'd throw us in changing rooms for hours and just put clothes over try this on. So I hated the whole idea of anything. Then it was presented to me. I thought, okay, I'll give it a shot, because I was trying to make extra money to go to college so I could just be responsible. And I had my first cover of a magazine in 4 days and my first beauty ad in 3 months. It was unheard of. So it's what had to happen for me to stay in the business. But I also I didn't have to worry about some pitfalls because I knew I had something else to fall back on if it didn't work.
The interesting part is, you were launched onto the scene just like that. And I don't even know how to count how many covers of a magazine that you've been on. But looking back and with what you see now, how have you seen the beauty industry or beauty standards evolve over time to where it is now? What's your take on it?
My take is I don't even know if I could get a modeling job right now because of the number of followers that I have on social media. Mm-hmm. So it's not, maybe it was 7 years ago. I was back in New York and I was trying to resurrect and get back into modeling. And when you would go for an interview or a casting, they would ask, they didn't want to see your book. They didn't want to see your past pictures. It was that they wanted to know what your numbers were on your following. So they want you to do the advertising for them, is what I think it is. Yeah.
Sure.
I mean, it's true. You know, I have a couple of really good friends who are big agents at William Morris or CAA, and they say the same thing. They say big celebrity status is no longer what it used to be. We have a whole division now that just takes care of social media influencers, and that is more highly monetized than just even the big celebrities. So I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Right, but a lot of the influencers are not good at anything else but that social media bubble of just promoting themselves or products or whatever. They can't conduct interviews. They can't go out. They can't take photos. They just don't have other skills. So what I loved about my business is once I was done with modeling, I went into broadcasting, and I was on Good Morning America as a host. And so I conducted live interviews, and I got to promote products, and I understood you've got so much time. These are the key points and talking points you need to get in. So there is skill, and it doesn't have anything to do with social media numbers. And I was very late on the scene and was not good at building up those numbers. So my numbers are low, but that doesn't mean people don't know who I am. They just don't know where to find me. So it's a dumb, weird, I don't know, frustrating.
Yeah, it's a new frustrating metric that has no bearing on authenticity or merit. It really is the fact that it's the more popular via numbers, suddenly the more of an expert you are, which, you know, to us is ridiculous, especially in our field, but it works the same way.
But it's the same for us too. And if you're a little bit late to the scene, kind of in a way, you're not in the yellow pages anymore. And it's interesting because it's exactly what you said. We have a lot of influencers that come into our office, and some of the girls that work for us look at us and say, oh my God, they don't look anything like what's on social media. So it's a lot of smoke and mirrors. I mean, a lot of people don't look like they really do, or they have filters, or they change the lighting. It's not like the past where, you know, real beauty, genuine, true, natural beauty was what made you as big and popular as you are.
You know, I guess in an industry where the pressure to maintain a certain appearance is always overwhelming, and what inspired you to say, you know what, I'm not going this route. I'm going to do, you know, to embrace the natural processes of aging as opposed to pursuing more invasive beauty treatment?
I think it was fairly organic, and I just saw that people started tweaking and doing all these things, and I just wasn't interested. It's not like it was, I don't know, it was even more an internal thing, and I had no idea until I really started posting on social media that what I decided for myself would help other women feel the what's the word, that it was, if I could do it, if I could stay natural, then they had that same permission. I guess the word is permission to go natural also. And it's been, for me, something that was just fairly easy. I just wasn't into tweaking and changing things. I didn't need to mess with stuff. It didn't seem that bad to me, and I didn't mind aging. And it's kind of hard to describe. I just didn't feel like I wanted to mess around with stuff.
That confidence and that empowerment for other women is very important, because the other thing is not everybody is able to do it. And I think it's important for people to feel very confident in their skin. So it's great that you did that, and you really empowered probably a significant amount of women that are, you know, as they get older and sometimes look in the mirror and say, oh wow, what happened they actually love the way they look instead of look back and say, oh no, I look awful. Not everybody can have plastic surgery, and we understand that. And that's why we have a skincare line, and we try to educate people on how to do yourself home methods of staying young and keeping your skin refreshed and avoiding sunspots and so forth, so on. But it also is very important for you psychologically to maintain that confidence. And by doing that, you really are empowering a significant amount of people out there that really you don't want them to get depressed when they look in the mirror. You instead want them to be happy and feel empowered. So kudos to you. That's wonderful.
Yeah, I think, many people view aging as something to be feared or fought against. And, it's, you've embraced it as a part of the natural process. And I think just it gives you that confidence, and people can see it. I mean, you exude it as we're speaking to you. So, it's a true testament. And,
another nice thing for me is I have 3 sons, and my sons were always very much, Mom, don't wear makeup. You look beautiful without it. You don't need it. And so for me, I mean, I just saw my youngest son the other day, and he's like, Mom, you look great. Because I'm letting the color of my hair go back and the little bit of gray. He's like, I love it. You look great. I love the gray streak. So just that positive feedback from my children has been even important to me.
Love that. You've raised them well.
Any grandchildren? Any grandchildren? I'm just curious.
No. And I have my oldest son's going to be 38 next week.
Oh, so he's taking my route, going real slow. I had my first kid at 50, so it's all good. Yeah, I just had my second kid last week. So, I got my hands full.
It's interesting. How do you think your perspective challenges the traditional norms? I mean, within the modeling industry, not just life in general, but I think we are seeing a little bit of a swing, and now we see models that are plus sizes. We see, models of multiple different ethnicities and different age groups. Do you think this challenges the norms, or is now, becoming the norm?
Well, it's interesting, the word normal. So what is normal? So for an Asian woman, normal is being able to relate to someone that looks similar to them. So I think the word normal is what's changing, in that we are able to embrace and encourage and gather in people from all different races and diversity and all of it. And it's very important, because you want to be able to relate to somebody. There is no normal. So that's what's cool about it. But then at the other thing, it's like, okay, well, there are some blonde-haired, blue-eyed girls, or I don't even know if I'm blonde anymore, but sometimes we're almost pushed out because there's not as many of us. So
I'm imagining throughout your career, and you just alluded to the fact that 7 years ago you went to revisit the modeling career, and you've encountered numerous expectations and pressures regarding your appearance. So how have you navigated these challenges while still maintaining, to being true to yourself?
I have focused more on what I learned inside and becoming credible. So I don't rely on just my outer looks at all. So I have written ebooks, and I have become relevant speaking about subjects that are important to me, and realizing that other people like them too. For instance, making shrubs at home, kombucha tea. I don't know if you know what shrubs are, but it's just so cool little things. I did one last week on sourdough, because I've got a sourdough starter and it's taking over my kitchen.
Love it.
To me, it's like getting people a glimpse into my world and my kitchen countertops and what I've got going on. And that to me, and using my voice in a different way, has become more important than just a model that sits and doesn't speak and is only a blank canvas. So we used to be this blank canvas, and it wasn't our personality. It was what the artist thought as they put on the makeup, and the hairdresser, like someone right now would say, oh, you should have had your hair here. You should have done this. And I get a lot of that feedback, but what's interesting is that, hey, this is me, and I've got something else to say. And so that credibility is starting to come out. So I write articles on wellness and healthy alternatives for Men's Journal. And I am becoming a wellness advocate, a person who is who's got an opinion and has things to say about the wellness space. So I do not and will not rely on my outer looks at all. That's not important to me.
So even though you don't, here's the $1 million question. How did you age and how do you age so gracefully? Please. Now for the listeners, obviously you're not looking at YouTube and you're not watching this interview, but if you are, you could tell that this is what's called aging gracefully. Can you share some insights or tips on how you've maintained your radiant beauty and the confidence that you so beautifully radiate? Because again, aging gracefully is something that everybody wants to do, right?
Yes.
But is there a trick to it?
It's not so much a trick, but it's incorporating a couple of different things. Number one, first and foremost, is I am married for my third time. And I have a husband who says he's the wind under my wings. He absolutely adores me. He cherishes me, and I feel well loved. So that sparkle and that confidence that comes from within knows that I am just a well-loved person. I also take care of what I put into my body. So it's not just external, it is internal. And so every single thing I do is watching what I'm putting into my body and making healthy choices there. And the other thing would be healthy boundaries and being at peace with myself. And I love God, so I've got a sparkle of God from within, because I know I'm well loved there and that I'm a blessed person. So all those things kind of work together to make whatever you see, and this is just who I am. And if people don't like it, and this is what we learned in the modeling business, is if you don't like it, that's your problem, that's not mine. So I'm not here to please other people. I'm here to encourage. I'm here to teach. I'm here to inspire. And if I don't do that, I'll move on to someone else. So I'm not striving. I'm not worried or trying to be anything else than just me. And that confidence comes, I think, just because I know I'm loved.
It's a very simple way, I guess. Be loved, love yourself, and love others.
Yes.
I think that's a big part of honestly being happy. Really, I think really helps aging, because I think people that aren't, and people that are depressed, and people that aren't motivated like you, whether you're writing or you're inspiring others, I think that really helps just keep you feeling and looking younger. I really do. I think that's a big key. Some people ask me, they're like, "You're 50." I'm 52. They're like, 52. You had a second kid, and you have more energy than anyone I know. It's basically because I'm in a good mood all the time, and I feel like you're the same way. And it's really, I think that's one of the biggest factors on staying and feeling and looking younger. So yeah. I think that's.
I forgot to add in going to the gym and working out, and
that we can tell.
Yeah.
I love lifting weights with the boys, and because I'm a mother of 3 boys, and so I'll go to the dumbbells at the gym, and just I don't mind just elbowing my way in there with the guys and doing my little thing. And hey, are you using those 22 and a halves? Okay, well, I want those,
Love it.
Boys watch me like, wait, she's doing more than I am, so maybe I need to.
Yeah, we got to up the weights. That's awesome. Let's say, because I think it's really important, especially for, fathers that have daughters, because you're sending a great message. Obviously, it's that mental and spiritual empowerment, and it's what you are on the inside. There are going to be some listeners and viewers that want to know, all right, are there any tricks, tips, techniques, routines that you use, whether it's simple? We had one, Mario Lopez was on here and he said, look, I use aloe vera. Okay. Is there something that you use and you say, look, it works for me. It may not work for everybody else, but we may look at it and say, We're onto something here.
Kind of like Jennifer Lopez said, it's
Olive oil.
only olive oil.
Oh,
Mm.
no, I'm trying to think. I'm one of those, because people send me things all the time. I'm also testing. So whether it's protein powders, I'm testing a new one now. There's a new sweetener. I can't even pronounce the name of it. Starts with a K. So I just came from the Healthy Products Expo. And so I'm overwhelmed with new and innovative techniques or combinations of things. So no, for me, besides probably drinking water, I don't drink alcohol. So probably I'm a big, huge water drinker. So if it was probably one thing that's maybe different than others, is I don't drink alcohol anymore.
Yeah, I love it.
That's great.
Hydration. There's nothing better for skin. And, and obviously it shows.
The one thing that is going to be obvious, and I think all of our listeners want to know, is what advice would you give to the individuals who are listening or watching who may feel pressured to conform to the societal standards of beauty, especially as they age? Because now, unfortunately, I'll tell you, Kim, it's starting at such a young age because it's in your face all the time that people like you are important to kind of balance it and buffer it a little bit. What's the advice you'd give them?
I would say, are you doing it for you or are you doing it for someone else? So when you talk about pressures of society, to me, that's you doing it for someone else and not yourself. So I just didn't really ever feel comfortable going in the direction of tweaking and changing things. So everyone has to make their own decision. And I will have women who respond back on my social medias when I post something. They're like, well, that might work for you, but I'm never going to do this. You can't make me. And I said, I'm not trying to do what works for you. So whatever gives you that inner peace, I think, is your answer. And so if you really feel like you have to change something on your face or whatever it is, then, and it's that important to you, then I would say do it. Even if it's like putting braces on or changing your teeth are crooked. And believe me, if I can tell, and this will help every woman out there, even supermodels have one thing on their body or face that they do not like.
We can concur.
Has something that we don't like. And when we watch people look at us, we think, oh, that's what they're looking at. And they're not. They're not.
That's right.
Yeah.
But that's interesting. It's similar to what I say to patients in the office that come in and then they sit there and say, what would you do? And I'm like, I wouldn't do anything. You look great, like that. And they're like, no, but you're the professional. What would you do? I go, well, if this was residency, they'd put a picture of someone up and they'd make me kind of pick it apart from top to bottom. But this isn't. This is real life. And it doesn't matter to, I'm not trying to make you the perfect Barbie. And it's interesting because some people will be like, no, you need to tell me what to do. And it's not like that. Yeah. It really is just how you feel about yourself. It's very true.
Yeah.
With your experience in the modeling industry, how do you envision the future of modeling? I mean, I think especially with regards to age representation, with diversity, where do you see modeling going? I think, again, I think our beauty standards, they have shifted. I don't know if changed is the right word. They've shifted. But what do you envision? Let's say it was where you would see this going.
Well, I believe there's almost two camps. One is relying on the natural beauty and the natural aging process. And then the other, I look at some of these young girls and they have like shaved and sculpted their eyebrows. They have to add the extra eyelashes. They have to enhance their lips, even lip liner. Let's say they don't touch their lips with plastic surgery, but they have to have like a specific pencil line and they've got to have the way their foundation is. And they look almost like a what are those dolls? Not kimono, in Japan. Remember those dolls?
Oh, yes. Yes.
With the powdered face, but they just very chiseled and very defined. And that's their definition of beauty. I don't know if that is just a phase or if some people really love that enhancement and that altering or that adding to their face or whatever it is. So I look at these young girls and I'm like, ooh, I wouldn't want to do that. They probably look at me and like, ooh, that lady didn't do anything. So I think we've got different camps of different people. And I hope that women do not feel like they need to strive. No matter what it is, that they don't need to strive, they don't have to change, and that it's okay to just be who they are.
Yeah, and I completely agree with you because I think even in our field, there are ways to do it where it can be very natural, it can be very subtle. You can keep people guessing, or you can see from across the street that they've had work done. And I do believe that some of the celebrities, A-list celebrities and supermodels, that some of them have had some work done that has been very graceful, and has been kind of unassuming versus some others that haven't. And it's interesting because I think most of them are still trying to continue in their career as an actress, and they feel like if they age or if they don't look like they did 20 years before that, it would actually kind of eliminate them. And I do think that this is a lot of it is pushed by Hollywood. So if this wasn't there, and there's some, and you've seen it on the shows, they've aged really, really gracefully, and I think it's important to have that for them. The problem is we don't have enough voices like you for the younger generation to see that it is okay to age gracefully. You still look fantastic. You still look, you have a 38-year-old son. I mean, it's you've lived your life. So I do think that by you empowering women like that, it makes a big difference for the younger generation that's coming up. So they don't see the 30-year-old that then turned 50, that turned 70, still looks like she looked 30 because of our help. So I just want to thank you for that. That's really something that's very special.
Well, thank you. And a lot of what I have turned towards is because I came from marketing as a model and I watched how products would promote and their sales, either their talking points or what they thought was a selling point of their products. And it was always about what the product could do for you. But it's not a lot, there's not a lot of discussion about what the product does to you, to your health, and to your, even your mindset. So to me, that's what's important. And that's what I look at. I focus more, okay, do I want this product because it's going to make my life easier or faster or softer or whatever it is? Or do I want to stay more natural and just stay in that smaller little field because I don't want to mess with nature? I figure God designed our bodies. God designed all the products and foods we eat. And so if I'm eating and doing and being and existing in that more natural space, then there's less fighting of trying to either detox or cleanse or whatever it is, or get back to whatever normal is. So to me, I try and I try to avoid toxins and things that are too altered. So I guess
Sure.
that's more my mindset.
You had alluded to earlier that you were testing multiple products. Are there any new projects that you're working on, or is that part of it?
I have projects I'm working on. I have like 12 different projects that I'm working on. One that I can speak of, they're ready to sign on contracts, but one I can speak on is designing a ministry for women who have come out of the jail system. And I'm working with Dress for Success, Arrowette, which is a local nonprofit that helps women coming out of jail, and also St. Vincent de Paul, which deals with the homeless people, and developing a program for them on getting back on their feet and making the healthy choices, and whether that's lifestyle and how to shop and how to say no and how to balance your budget and your checkbook and how to apply makeup and find the right outfit for job interviews. So we are developing a 5-week program for them. So I believe in giving back. I do a lot of charity work, a lot of charity work. And to go back earlier when you were talking about people who are depressed. One of my tips for that is to stop focusing on yourself and get out and go do something for someone less fortunate, because there's always somebody that needs help. And the more that you can go out and you can help other people, the less depressed, I believe, most of us will be.
You want to come spend some time in LA? I think we need some help here.
Yeah.
Lots of help here.
Yes.
I'll be there next week. Yeah.
Perfect. You should come by and say hello to us if you are.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'll be at that podcast convention.
Oh, really?
There's a podcast convention in LA next week.
Amazing.
Wow.
So maybe we can see you there. If not, we'll have you come to the office.
Yeah. If people wanted to find you, where's the best way to go? Find you, your books, you name it.
Yes, KimAlexis.com.
Perfect. And what about Instagram?
Instagram is _KimAlexis.
Perfect. And then just KimAlexis.com as well. Any other social or other things that we should check out? Or
well, the Facebook, they all my socials
link
post
together,
to all different, whether it's LinkedIn or whatever, social, the Instagram and Facebook are all the same one on the same day. I used to rotate, but it's like, nope, everyone gets the same thing today.
Perfect.
Yes.
Facebook is Kim Alexis.
And Amazon for your books?
You can, so my website, KimAlexis.com, links to an Amazon page for the ebooks.
Love it. Well, listen, I know that this has been an eye-opener for us, and we are definitely appreciative of your time. We're big fans, and again, as fathers of daughters, I think we definitely appreciate your outlook on life, and hope that there are more people like you out there that are working to kind of change this paradigm here. So, again, thank you so much. We definitely appreciate your time.
It was a pleasure.
Well, thank you for having me and letting me speak and have my voice and go natural.
I love it.
It was really a pleasure.
If you like this video, you're going to love this one.
That's when I literally hit rock bottom and I was super depressed. I was like drinking like crazy. I finally if I'm going to turn my life around, I need to do the one thing that I never learned how to do, which was take care of myself.